Hey kid, hope you're having a good day. Today's the first video I'm making for you. It's going to be an easy one. Today we're going to make your strawberry preserves that you like. So we're going to switch the camera around. You're going to need some strawberries. You're going to need a pot. I'm using a copper pot that Grammy brought over from France. A cutting board, and there's two different ways to cut. I'll show you both different ways. One is if you're comfortable with a knife, the others if you want to be safe. All right, let me set up the camera and we will make it. All right, kid. Basically, I'm not going to worry about getting me in there. The way I've done it in the restaurant, basically you're going to take your strawberry right here. I take a little paring knife, just down and curl it, bring it to your knife. You don't slice, you don't move your finger, you're just doing this to it. You're pinching it top. And this is what you're gonna get. That's what it's gonna look like. A little bit of a curve. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. You can see the curve a little bit. So then basically you're gonna take the strawberry, cut it up, go like that, cut it into 4. Yep. Throw it in there. And basically you repeat the process, cut it off, take the stem out, cut it into 4, split it. Do it this way. I don't worry about any soft spots like this. It doesn't matter because it's gonna cook down. So I just want to get it consistent. You don't trust yourself with this, you can take a chef knife, take the top, bring the piece over. I find you waste a little bit more and take a little bit more time to get it through. I don't use a strawberry huller because I'm not into gadgets. Cut it twice and go. And I do remind you that it's best to wash your strawberries before you put it up and cut it up. You don't have to dry it. You don't have to worry about the extra water. These containers are made, they have holes in them. You just open up the lid, they have holes all through the bottom and they drain out. It's all good to go. So I'm going to finish up the rest of these, fill it in, I'll show you the next step. Alright kid, I got a few more to go. I got 5 to go. If you have something light like this, as you can see it's a little not ripe. Doesn't matter for strawberry preserve. If you wanted to, you can cut it off right there. But for the preserve we're making, don't worry about it, leave it on, just cut it off. Take the extras, cut them. You want to try and do it. This is just the easiest and fastest that I've found. All right, I'll take that. I get all the stems in my cutting board, pick up my pieces. Okay, so now the next step I'll show you is sugar. Be right back with a spoon. Just so you know, a lot of different recipes call for white sugar. It really doesn't matter. We use brown sugar in our house because it's close to natural, it's not refined. It's sugar, it's not good for you, but it's better than the refined white sugar. So that was basically those 2 scoops, big large scoops. I'm guesstimating about just under 2 cups. Should be about 1 3/4 cups, and this was 2 pounds of strawberries. So maybe 1 cup per pound, I'm guessing, and you can always adjust it when it's cooking. I'm going to bring it over to the stove now. I'm going to clean up my mess and then bring it over to the stove. We'll set up and show you what's going on there. All right, kid, I'm turning on the flame. That's a high flame, if you can see it. I'm going to drop it down to a low to medium flame. Basically, this strawberry preserve is going to be 3 ingredients. It's going to be strawberries, sugar, and a little bit of lemon juice, but that's not going to come till near the end. So what we're going to do now, as you can see, it's on the low heat. You don't have to worry about any of the strawberries burning, because as soon as the heat hits, they're going to start to release their juice and their own moisture, which is going to help preserve it. The sugar is going to then caramelize with the strawberry, and then we're going to let it reduce at a low to medium heat. Once we get the juice going, we're going to turn the heat up a bit to get it to boil. Then we're going to turn it down to a slow simmer. So it's a multi-step process, but it takes maybe an hour. So we'll come back to it. I don't know if you can hear it sizzling now, but it's starting to sizzle. I'll be quiet. All right, I'm going to get a lid. We'll be back. All right, kid, it's been about 6 minutes since we first put the pot on. I'm going to lift the lid for the first time. I'm going to turn the camera around, lift the lid for the first time. My first reaction is to look, see what's happening in the pot, and smell. If I'm smelling something caramelized, or if I'm smelling something burnt or other than strawberry, you should just smell like fresh strawberry. If you smell fresh strawberry, just leave it be. Give it a quick stir to get some of the sugar mixed down. And also what's gonna happen from there is if you smell like it was caramely, like it was nutty, or like that's the best smell I can tell you, because that's what sugar is. If it's starting to get on the farther end of being caramelized, or if it goes a little further than that, it's going to be burnt. So if it smells like that, turn the heat down, and then you might have to add a little bit of water. It depends if the strawberries are not juicy, but we're going to turn the camera around and see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. All right, see the bubbles? See how they look? And my first smell is nothing but strawberry, and I smell sugar, but it's not caramely. See what's happening right now? This is actually exactly what you should see. So I'm gonna reach over, I'm gonna grab the spoon. That's the spoon we used for the sugar. And now we're just I'm gonna bring the camera up a little bit. I gotta switch to my dominant hand, sorry. And just mix everything around. Now see all that syrup? That's all the liquid released from the from the strawberry. And the sugar's blending in with that. So now I just stirred it. I'm going to put this back on the cutting board. I got to turn my hand, excuse me. All right, now see, it stopped bubbling, but that's okay because it's going to start simmering. That means the heat is at the perfect consistency. And again, I'm going to show you the heat. That's where we are. So we're going to bring that back, center it on, and then we're going to put the lid on. So now we're about 7 minutes in. So now we're about 7 minutes into cooking your strawberry preserves. Now we're going to let it sit for probably another 15-20 minutes with the lid on, and then we'll be back at that point to take a look at it. And then from there, we're going to cook it with the lid off to let the moisture start to evaporate. Right now we're trying to get the strawberry soft without it caramelizing, so we don't want to evaporate the water too much. We want that to happen at the end. And then when that happens, the sugar will thicken, it'll emulsify, and it'll turn into a lovely, lovely, lovely preserve. If the strawberry is too sweet, that's the third ingredient we add. We need that little bit of acid for a lemon, and it's maybe a quarter to a half a lemon at most for 2 pounds of strawberries is what I do. So, and that's always the taste. Sometimes you don't have to add it. Some of the strawberries will be tart, some will be sweet, but if they're all overly sweet, you always need that little bit of acid just to help balance things out, basically. All right, be back in like 10 to 15 minutes. See how it is? It came up. That's what happened. It over boiled onto the stove. I since cleaned it up. All right, anytime you see the stuff in the center like this, all this right here, you want to try and get rid of that. And just, you're not going to eat that. That's impurities that you're getting rid of. If you mixed it in to the jam, it wouldn't hurt you. Just make it cloudier instead of having a clear kind of preserve. And you'll get some of that, but you can get rid of most of it. Okay. Now that I did that, stir it up, and it'll come back again to the middle. See how the juice is a little thicker now? That's what you want. At this point, we're going to leave the top off, and we're going to let it cook. And now I'm going to set up the camera to watch the last, I don't know, it's probably going to be about another 20 minutes uncovered. Might have to skim it. You can already see the other particles. Probably I'll have to skim it one more time. And go from there. All right. We'll be back when it reduces a little bit more. All right, kid. We're about 15 minutes in. There's another nice little raft of scum. At this point, it's thicker now. It's okay if you get some of the other stuff. You're not going to get it all, but that's what it is. All right, I'm going to go wash the spoon. All right, I just washed the spoon. I wanted to show you the consistency. See how it's still starting to break down? The bubbles, they went from little bubbles to bigger. I don't know if you noticed. And the way they're forming is something you want to look at too. They're going to get, there's not going to be as many bubbles from boiling when it reduces. And you just watch everything change until the consistency you want. Also, you want to see how it coats the spoon. Before it was just pure liquid, and now it's almost like a syrup. So we're about 40% there. I'm not gonna, other than the chopping I did on the strawberries, I'm not gonna blend anything. It's just gonna reduce down to the consistency of how you have it when you spread on your bagel in the morning. All right, we'll be back at the next point. All right, kid, we're about 5 minutes from where we left off last. See how the bubbles are changing? Even the color of the raft, you look over on the plate, and that raft is getting a little darker. And you can see it's getting thicker too. Watch the, see how it's thicker? I'm going to turn this down because you can see, now you can see the bottom as I stir. Before you couldn't do that. You're getting that, you see the bottom. You know, the heat is too high. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take that heat and we're gonna turn it way down. I might have to move it off. But now, seeing the bottom is a good thing, but we don't want to burn it. So we're about 23 minutes in, 25 minutes in, somewhere give or take. I'm just generalizing on the time. It's all about just watching the product and having it tell you when it's done or if it needs more. And we're getting close. All right, coming back over. It's about 3 minutes later. I say just because the strawberry's not broken down yet, it's starting to. Got about another 8 to 10 minutes. So at this point, I'm going to grab a spoon, a tasting spoon, and we're going to try it. Pretty good. Not going to need lemon because there's enough tart strawberries in there. So this is going to be a 2-ingredient strawberry preserve. See how the bottom stays open more? Still about 6 more minutes. And now the bottom is clean. There's nothing stuck on it. And you can see there's not much liquid in here at all. I'm trying to get liquid for you. Like I said, maybe 5 more minutes. Alright, kid, I think we're there. See how there's no more raft in the middle? There's a little bit on the side, but that's not a big deal. Notice how the bubbles are spread throughout now, not on the side. They were all around the perimeter. And now it's just an even consistency through the middle. And you see how the bubbles are actually thicker now, and they're tinier. They're not like big giant bubbles. And there's not like thousands of them either, like there were earlier. So we're going to stir it, and you can see how it's coming and now totally staying off. I don't want to reduce it all the way down because then it's going to almost be too well done. And with the brown sugar, it's going to be get too much caramel on there. So this is about where I want it to be with brown sugar and strawberry. Notice how they're already starting to fall apart, and it's just changed to a thick consistency. So we're going to take this, I'm going to shut it off, and we're going to put it in this bowl. Alright, kid, I think you can see that. So it comes out clean. That's the jam. You can see it may be 10, 11 ounces with just under 2 cups of brown sugar and 2 pounds of strawberries. There you go. Enjoy your breakfast.